Be patient. You know, I always say that I have more patience than a hospital. It's metaphoric, but just so I can explain, when you go to a hospital normally have patients, INTS, and humans normally have patients, IENCE. So I normally have a lot of patience, and I just add on more patience than a hospital. And of course, you know, it's one thing. And I got to say this. I really have to say this. Sometimes people may think that people are not listening because you don't hear the telephone ring. But the telephone ringing, as far as I'm concerned, is not really important. Now, here's Marvin McKenzie, all the way in Trinidad, sending me a WhatsApp message. Thanks for the big up. Laugh out loud. And there's also Ocean Eversley, way up in Massachusetts, ladies and gentlemen. Way up there, saying the same thing. LOL. Laugh out loud. You know, there was a joke about LOL. I'm not going to get into that joke, though. You know, with these parents who really don't know what these things mean. Like OMG. You know what I mean? So, we are interactive with our listeners. And we also have a lot of tweets as well. People tweet us at SoMore. You know, we respond to them. So, we are kind of very social media active, ladies and gentlemen. Very soon, very, very soon, we are going to be streaming via video. So a lot of people, you know, this is funny. Humans try to associate a voice with individuals. If you speak to an individual and you have never seen that individual and all you hear is the individual voice, you try to picture the person from their voice. Isn't that true? You try to figure out what a person will look like from listening to their voice. So many people that hear my voice on the South Orange Maple Online Radio Experience and the Village with Anselm Marjorie try to picture what I look like. And I must tell you, 200% of the times, they get it wrong. They absolutely butcher what I look like. And if people were kind of smart and you know my name, the easiest thing to do, get a notepad and pen and take this note, ladies and gentlemen, because we want you to also learn by listening to us here in the Village with Anselm Marjorie. Whenever you want to find out about a person, the easiest thing to do, and you know the person's name, there is something called Google. Everyone knows Google? Just Google the person's name and then click on images. And if that person is any person or person of any sort of status or has any sort of been in a magazine, a newspaper, you're going to see that person's image and you're going to know what that person looked like. So you don't have to guess what the person looked like. Now, a lot of people guess what I look like, and they think I'm this fat guy, big fat guy. Because I think my voice sounds like a fat guy. I don't know what a fat guy voice sounds like. You know, but most people think I'm this fat guy. Right? Yeah, they say, they said, Anselm, based on your voice. Because if it has happened many, many times. Let me give you a quick example. For many of those individuals who listen to In the Village with Anselm Marjorie, and the same thing for Marjorie. I'm sure when you listen to Marjorie and that voice, man, Anselm, she has like a really, she has an excellent, fantastic, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious voice. She has an excellent radio voice. And, not to make her feel too good, but the voice is kind of sexy, to be honest with you. Or should I say that? I mean, that's sexy in a positive way, right? So by listening to Marjorie's voice, you try to picture what Marjorie looks like, right? Yeah, people, that's normal. You're trying to associate the voice with the person, and 100 and 200% of the times, they get it wrong. So don't waste your time trying to figure out what the person look like based on their voice. Just Google them, go to images, and if they're not there, wait until you meet that person in person. It's easier that way. Trust me. Right? Because as Marvin says, a voice can be deceiving. Very true. A voice can be truly, truly deceiving. So in the future, don't try to figure out what Anselm look like. Just use that thing called Google, because it's always easy to figure out whether that person is a good person or that person is someone else. So let's go over to some local news and see what's happening in the South Orange Maplewood district here. South Orange Maplewood Board of Education decides to advertise for more superintendent candidates. The South Orange Maplewood Board of Education has decided to advertise for more candidates for the position of superintendent of schools. The board is searching for a new superintendent following the resignation of Brian Osborne in June. Currently, the district assistant superintendent of administration, James Memoli, is working as the acting superintendent. On Monday night, newly elected board president Wayne Eastman announced that the board was adjusting the timetable on the superintendent search slightly and will be advertising for more candidates. In a subsequent interview, Eastman explained that the changes reflect a desire to get this most important decision right. He said that changes in no way reflected any differences in the views of the former and current board leadership, nor with the quality of the candidate. We want to have the best pool possible, said Eastman. We have an ambitious schedule, and we are hoping to recommend our selection in February. At this point, we are looking at being pushed back some, but we are still on tight timeline to have all the candidates considered and have a choice to the community as early as March. So, we are looking for a new candidate here in the South Orange Maplewood School District, a new superintendent. So we'll see what happens. To me, superintendent, oh well, I'll leave that alone. Maplewood to allow weather enclosure entrances in Maplewood Village. The Maplewood Township Committee passed a resolution on Tuesday night that would allow temporary weather enclosures for businesses in Maplewood Village throughout the winter months. This winter will serve as a pilot program for the enclosures. Maplewood Mayor Vic DeLuca reported, "Last, they went up, and they really got away from us. This year, we told them they couldn't put them up." However, DeLuca said that he and Julie Doran of the Maplewood Village Alliance have met with construction official Robert Mittermeier recently regarding a request by the Alliance to allow canvas sidewalk entry weather enclosures for businesses if they meet certain criteria. Based on that meeting, Mittermeier created criteria for the pilot program. The enclosures are allowed only in Maplewood Village. There must be 4 feet of clearance between the curb and the enclosures. The enclosures are only allowed through the winter months. Businesses must show that they have insurance covering the enclosures. The application must contain a drawing illustrating the enclosure, and snow and ice must be removed on either side of the enclosures. So, I guess Maplewood being proactive, can't complain about that. Of course, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, Seton Hall is currently playing Xavier in basketball, and I think it's at the halftime. You know, Seton Hall is right here in South Orange, and they're currently ranked number 19. First time in almost 14, 15 years that Seton Hall is ranked number 19, and they're currently leading Xavier 47-45. And as one of you may know, I'm actually an alma mater at Seton Hall University as well, and teaching at Seton Hall University too. Maplewood approved contract with Newark Shelter. Animal control position uncertain. The Maplewood Township Committee voted 4-1 Tuesday to approve a resolution entering into a contract with the Associated Humane Society of Newark for animal control services. Township Committeeman Jerry Ryan was the dissenting vote. The contract, which will cover both sheltering and animal control responsibilities, will be in effect for 2015. The decision likely means the termination of the township current animal control officers, Debbie Haydu. The town had a temporary contract with AHS to serve as holding facilities for strays since the closing of the Jersey Animal Coalition, which served both Maplewood and South Orange. There were roughly 25 to 30 people in the audience, many of whom spoke in favor of retaining Haydu and against contracting with AHS. So there you have it. Haydu out as the animal control officers here in South Orange and Maplewood. Time to register for preschool. It's that season again. Nursery and preschool registration, with several preschools having lotteries and registration deadline this coming weekend, January 9th and 10th. Open Door Nursery School will be Saturday, January the 10th for the 2015-2016 school year. And there are several schools in South Orange and Maplewood that you can register for the upcoming school year. And let's go over to maplewoodian.com, see what's going on with my good pal, Joe Strupp. He's the editor in charge of maplewoodian.com. Let's see what Joe has here in store for us. Township Committee approved post office redevelopment changes despite public opposition. The Township Committee gave approval Tuesday night. Okay. The Township Committee gave approval Tuesday night to changes in the Maplewood Village Post Office redevelopment that will allow a height increase and exemption from low-income housing requirement in exchange for cash and other modifications. Now you see, this is part of the problem that I have here in my community of South Orange and Maplewood. Sometimes I believe we have this elitist mentality, an exemption from low housing income requirements in exchange for cash. So that means we are going to be building this property here in Maplewood, and we are not going to have any low income housing. And that's unacceptable. Really and truly is. Because there are people out there who, even though they are low income, they are law abiding citizens, and this is the opportunity in order for them to move into a community like Maplewood, in order for their kids to get maybe, just maybe, a quality education at the high school based on living here in Maplewood. So when you take away those opportunities, it is sad. But you know, the thing about it is that people in this community talk about diversity all the time, and I keep harping on this all the time. If you ask someone from Maplewood or South Orange, why did you move to South Orange or Maplewood? One of the first things they're going to tell you, I moved here for diversity. I moved here because of the trains. I moved here because of the walkability that I could walk from my house to the village. Right? I moved here because of the schools. Okay? Diversity always in the top two of why people move to South Orange and Maplewood. And I've said this over and over and over.